Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm going to start off by doing, in this series, I'll start off with Gemini since we're just in Gemini season, as I'm doing these over the course of the new moon. And just kind of doing a quick general check-in. And if these resonate with you, then please, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment below. Let's see. Reminder always that time in tarot is fluid, so whenever these readings find you is when they're meant to find you, and also gender in tarot is fluid, so don't necessarily apply gender roles to the characters depicted on the key cards. And of course take what resonates and leave the rest. There's no way, it's a collective reading, there's no way it could possibly resonate with every single person. So just take what resonates only with your situation, and if not, please check out your other sign placements because something there might resonate better. So this will be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, and okay, let's get started. I'm starting off with to get an overall feel by general archetype. Sorry. Oh, let's see. So we have, actually put it here. We have the mother. So there's always two sides to every archetype. The light attributes of the mother card are nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life, and the shadow attributes are smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. So you can take this as you will. Obviously, we have kind of all of these archetypes within us. It just kind of depends on what we're practicing, whether it's actual physical children or whether it is a project or an idea that you're working on, anything that you're giving birth to, creatively. So let's get, which one? So both of these, okay. We have the Rebel and the Hero, Heroine. Okay, so the Rebel deals with, challenging authority, and affecting social change by doing so, and rejecting all the things that don't serve us and don't serve our highest selves. The shadow attributes of the Rebel, they reject, you're in a feeling where you reject legitimate authority out of anger, and you rebel out of peer pressure because it's trendy, it's fashionable, it's the thing to do at the moment. So again, find where that fits with you, and we'll see where it fits in with the rest of the reading. And then Hero, Heroine, the lighter aspect and the higher self aspect is passion for a journey of personal empowerment, and the shadow attribute is escapism and a false sense of heroism. So again, take one, none, all of whatever resonates with you, and see, be honest with yourself, and this is, why it's called Ace of Spades, or Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. It's about finding the truth within ourselves so that we can move forward in the future in a healthier way of being. Next, I'm going to go to the L-Key Oracle deck and just kind of get a little further insight onto the energy that you're in at the moment. Gemini, please. Could I get a card for Gemini? Where are they at this moment in time? Thank you, Spirit. She who dreams. Isra. So, I mean, dreaming can be a beautiful thing. I always recommend keeping a dream journal. Writing down your dreams as soon as you wake up if you don't remember them. And dreams, we can do a lot with our dreams. They can solve problems for us. They can, we can work things out in our mind. Sometimes when we wake up and we're exhausted, it's because we've been working all night in our dreams, to solve things that are on our mind, or a problem that we need to fix. But here, she who dreams is sometimes it can also be a way of escaping things. So, that's kind of the shadow side of, if you've been feeling depressed, if you've been feeling, like you're just spinning your wheels and you can't get anywhere. And Geminis, you are amazing communicators. You're incredibly creative and always coming up with new and innovative ways to do things. And you rule, you're ruled by Mercury, and you rule the third house of communication. So if a Gemini is spending a lot of time dreaming, whether it be to solve a problem or whether it be to escape into kind of a fantasy, because, life can be overwhelming. That's for sure. And I mean, it's such a beautiful card. It's so ethereal and beautiful. And if it's really, it's male or female. I know it's she who dreams, but it's male or female. So, you just have to question whether or not you're spending too much time in whether it's sleep dreaming or daydreaming or, in fantasy, and you're not grounded in reality and rooted in your being here. Working with that root chakra energy, because I know it's so easy to get caught up in the higher chakras. And we've also just gone through, we're at the end of Mercury retrograde, and I don't know about anyone else, but for me, this was a really intense one, and usually I'm not really affected so much by Mercury retrogrades. But there's been a lot, happening astrologically, and so, I mean, it's been, it's escaping into our dreams is definitely something that has been easy to do during a period because we just don't want to face some stuff, right? And it seems like everything is kind of walking up hills in the snow both ways, as our grandparents used to do, right? Yeah, that's because they put cocaine in the water back then, or in the soda. So no kidding, no shit. That's how you're able to power through, Nana. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but obviously they didn't walk uphill both ways. One way had to be downhill. Okay, so let's see. Oh, wait, Page of Wands. Okay, let's see what's going on with you. Page of Wands, something, again, that's kind of the birth of an idea, as we were talking about, that kind of mother birth thing. Page of Swords, 2 pages next to each other. Pages are messengers, and, whereas the wand is kind of that creative, the manifester, the Page of Swords also manifests using, words and thoughts and communication. And it's interesting because then we have the 3 of Cups following that. So, it's kind of a combination of heart and mind, right? Messages from you might be getting a lot of downloads recently, maybe from your dreams. But, kind of this, you might feel like your mind is moving faster than the pace at which your physical reality can produce, the ideas in your mind. But we see it happening because then we have this, this celebration card, and maybe it means working with others and pulling in someone that can. If we get another page, we'll see who it is. But pulling in someone that can tie it together for you, so that you don't get too trapped in one or the other, and there's a balance. Let's see. Sorry. Please make it clear, Spirit. Things want to come out in 3s right now. It's really interesting. Okay, Knight of Wands, the Star, and the 4 of Swords. Interesting. So, this is taking forward action towards that idea, and the star being, the star always comes after the tower in the tarot. It, it's after going through a period of destruction and kind of, unavoidable change. There's a period of healing, and so you're kind of going through this all at once, right? And again, it's kind of heart versus mind, because now we have this very, now we have the page has moved into the night, and he's galloping forward, and he's gung ho, and then you have this kind of balanced out on this other side, this Four of Swords of, we see the three swords above him, and similar to these three cups, it's 3 and 3, and always pay attention to the synchronicities. But he also has the one sword beneath him, and it looks like he's dead, but he's really just kind of meditating and taking time out. So, and we see the stained glass window in the background where he's, his mind is constantly going. Like, you see in this Page of Swords how there's all of this motion. The clouds are moving quickly. The earth, the wind is blowing. Trees, the ground seems to be almost like water. It's it's like you can see the movement of the grasses and the movement of his hair, and so it's like this person charging ahead and this person slowing down his thoughts, realizing, okay, I have to slow down. I have this kind of alchemical healing, this nourishing of, and we talked about nourishing the earth, right? And grounding yourself, rooting yourself in the earth, and kind of more earth energy, as it may be in your root chakra. And here with she's pouring the water into the earth, and from it sprouts the flowers, right? And so it's, and around her these 8 stars, and 7 of them, are the 7 chakras, and then, the one star of ether, of spirit, and the understanding that as above, so below, if you will. And this is the kind of same understanding that he understands. He has these 3 swords that he's hung up on the wall, and he still keeps his sword of truth, the sword here that but the ideas are stemming from, and the knowledge that he can make something happen, but he knows that he has to take a time out, because you can't always go in Knight of Wands energy, or you will burn out. So let's see what else. 4 of Cups. Okay, so in the past you might have felt like there was an opportunity that you missed because you were so busy focusing on these. Again, we see this pattern of 3 and 3, and 4 and 4, and 3 and 3, and this kind of one separate, this one separate cup, this one separate sword, and not paying attention to it. And so I think you might be realizing that there are times in life that you haven't, maybe you haven't opened your eyes. You've been so busy and so rushed and so busy that you haven't opened your eyes to something that's being handed to you. Because we have to kind of adjust to things, right? We have to adjust to the waves, and ride them as they come, and things can't always go exactly the way we want it, but we also have to be aware when opportunities present themselves. And I think that's something that you probably realized in the past. I'm getting a very sense that that's a past energy. Let's see what else wants to come out for Gemini. King of Wands. So look, we're going from the page to the knight to the king. That's beautiful. That's beautiful energy because of this understanding. I think that you've come into a place where you really watched your transition, ascend from where you were to where you are now, and you're standing strong in your power. You've been you've created, and you can sit now in your power, and that without having to do that, without having done the inner healing, you would not be in that position. Something to be, and here's another 4, interesting, beneath this 4 is, so now we have 3 4s here, and this, and we talked about, again, the rooting, the grounding, right, the balancing out of the root chakra, and this 4 of Pentacles, it's Turian energy, and it's very much a hoarding kind of energy of afraid to let go and blocking off your chakras. So you don't want to, once you've once you've kind of gained this power, you know, I think the lesson that Spirit wants you to hear is that, you know, because it's followed here by this two of wands, right? And he's holding the world in this, you know, and he's looking out and he's open, right? He still has his wand. He still has his creative spark, but now he's ready to expand it. And if you hold on too tightly, you won't expand. You won't see what is going on around you. You won't feel what's going on around you. You know, you'll be too into your own inner world to the point of neglecting what else is there. And so it's kind of a message to say, you know, take what you've learned and share it. You know, what can you do to share your gifts in the world today? What can you do? What can you do as a person? You know, it might seem like this world is, you know, we're going through so many things globally, that what can I do? What can I do? Well, we can all be something, right? So it's what have you learned, and how can you then not hold on so tightly to this, you know, smothering your creative pursuits so that no one else can partake in them, you know. But how do I share them? How do I share my wisdom and my creative ideas to others, you know, bring them to others so that they might have, you know, something to then go forward. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune, beautiful. And that's, you know, that's the wheel turning. So it's certainly fortuitous. And again, it's surrounded by the fixed signs. So I'm feeling this very much, this need to, especially after this very intense Mercury retrograde period, will be, you know, and there'll still be a shadow period for a couple of weeks, and then you know, Mercury's currently in Taurus, but it will be moving into Gemini around the 13th, I believe, of June. And then you'll have Venus actually following shortly after. So it's a beautiful time to kind of create more future luck, future endeavors, and also pass on what you have learned, and your trials and tribulations. You know, you don't always have to, the social media, it only ever shows you what's good, right? And it doesn't ever show you, you know, the hard times. It shows everyone only posts when everything's going well, and that can be really detrimental to our mental health, I think, because it makes it look like everyone else is doing all these, you know, doing great, and what's going on with us? Why aren't we doing all of these things but they're not posting, you know, all of the other stuff. So you have to remember that everyone goes through the ups and the downs, and if we can help people, you know. And yep, at the bottom of the deck we have the Eight of Wands, which is communication, which is fast moving communication. So I really do believe it's about spreading your knowledge, and we can quickly clarify here. Why do we have this? What's the Four of Cups, please, Spirit? What's the Four of Cups for Gemini? Four of Cups for Gemini. Page of Swords. Yeah, see, it's like, and in both pages of Swords, it's interesting because, you know, it's holding the sword one way and looking the other way, and not really paying attention because, you know, things are moving so quickly around and in your mind that you're not fully paying attention to what you're doing. And that's kind of what this person is doing, right? Here they're maybe so in their emotions that they're not paying attention to this offering. So let's get one more card on this. The Ten of Swords. Yeah, I taught you a lesson, High Priestess, about your intuition. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, it caused an ending that was quite painful because you didn't pay attention to your intuition. And I think now you realize that didn't serve you, and you learned how to go within, how to heal, how to go within and pay attention, and she who dreams, and really get in touch with that dream space, that inner world of knowledge and intuition, and not just the frantic mental, the speed at which you need things to happen, but the things take time. We see the progression. We can't be a king overnight. We have to go through the stages. As I say that, the King of Wands and the Ace of Wands, which, it's just so funny because, the aces are the beginnings of things. So it's like you've reached this king potential, and that's what I was kind of saying, the warning about holding on too tightly is don't hold on so tightly that you don't allow other things to bloom, right? Other creative ideas to bloom. You can let go of things that you've accomplished already, and from that, share them, and more will blossom. You don't, you own your creativity. Your creativity doesn't own you. Why do we have this? Why do we have this Four of Pentacles, please, Spirit? The Four of Pentacles. Yep, the Devil. It's the the attachment card, the unhealthy attachment card. So exactly what we were saying, being unhealthily attached, or as in the mother, the smothering of something that you've birthed. You need to be able to free yourself, otherwise you'll remain stagnant. And I think that, but it's just a reminder. See this two of Wands. Can we get one card on the Two of Wands, please? No, one card on the Two of Wands, please. They want to come out again. Okay. Knight of Pentacles. Again, that's that Earth, its slowest moving knight, but it's solid. It's solid offer. And the Three of Pentacles. And again, we have another 3 and a 3, and it's about allowing someone to come in with an offer and working with others, and again, kind of releasing, the way he holds this pentacle, this man holds this globe, and it's saying, okay, I can let go of this, and I can leave it in someone else's hands, because they're solid, and they can take it and run with it, and they can work with others, and they can build. Things don't get built on their own by one person, woman or man. They get built with the help of others. So it's just a reminder of that. If you've been feeling stuck or stagnant, reach out to somebody. Don't feel like you have to go at it alone just because it's your idea. Don't be afraid of saying, hey, I have this idea. Do you want to work on it with me? Or, what do you think? Where do you think I could improve? Or where do you think this idea could be improved? Or where do you think this project could be improved? Or would you like to be involved in it with me? Sorry, no. The Wheel of Fortune, please. Card on the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, Emperor. So moving from King of Wands into Emperor. Again, very fiery energy. But so if you're able to do that, then a king rules a kingdom, but an empire is all 4 kings. He rules an empire. And so, but it takes people in order to rule an empire. You can't be an emperor. You can't be an emperor of one. I mean, you can. We're all our own emperors and empresses, but it's in order to have an empire, you need people to work with in order to build that empire. And again, we see the same kind of holding in the hand, right, of this globe. So it's very synchronistic. And the Four of Swords, which falls right over the other Four of Swords. Yeah, really understanding that to make the magic happen, to make the alchemy happen, that to always hold on to your sword of truth, and to give up the swords that don't serve you, and to reflect and to rest. That's kind of that hero, heroine, the passion for a journey of personal empowerment. And that's really what I think you're going on. And we just don't want to make sure that we're we're not in the bottom of the deck, the Knight of Swords. We're not stuck in this, or the holding on too tightly, you know, that we're constantly doing reflecting, because we're a human being, not a human just doing, you know. We're an entire human being. That means inner work and outer work. So I'd like to go to the Symbolone deck, which it's a really interesting deck, actually, and see how this can tie together the reading. It's really about kind of the things that we need to think about, similar to archetypes, but more about like what possibly where you are right now in a lighter aspect of a shadow self, or sometimes it's not, but the questions you can ask yourself. So let's see, where's Gemini? The Geminis that I'm reading for right now, that's way too many. Half the deck. Where are the Geminis that I'm, thank you. Interesting. So we have Sleeping Beauty, right? The Sleeping Beauty card. And we have the Sleeping Beauty card, and we have the card of the Wrath of the Furies, if you will. So Sleeping Beauty card is, again, it's about kind of escapism and, you know, kind of reaching out and solving things in your dreams, right? But when you stay perpetually asleep, you're not in the real world. So it's bringing yourself back to that kind of real world energy, and taking yourself out of like the illusory Neptunian energy of the, you know, a lot of us have kind of been in. And I mean, I feel like, you know, I had like brain fog for a couple of weeks where, I mean, I could tell you a really crazy story, but I won't. But, you know, and the Furies is about maybe not paying due. In the deck, it's about having forgotten, perhaps, to pay due respect to ancestral figures that kind of passed on their knowledge to you, and so you're getting the wrath of the fury. So if if you have parents in your life, or grandparents, or people that raised you, or, you know, friends that acted as family, or, you know, the people in your life that have helped you along the way that maybe you've kind of neglected to thank for their contributions, now is the time to do that. Yeah, and it's interesting because we finished up with the mother, and we started with the mother and we finished with the mother, and it's also, you know, kind of mother, maiden, crone, you know, nurturing a child, and it's about, but it's also about self-nurturing. So taking care of yourself, taking time to rest, taking that time out for self-care and inner work, the same way you'd nurture a child. You know, we all have a child within us, that inner child, and to make sure you're nurturing that before you can nurture others. So beautiful the way that ended so perfectly. And we'll finish up with just one crystal. I'm debating whether or not I want to do the crystals for this series, but just a crystal for Moonstone. Live your purpose. So there we have it. Don't dream your purpose just because it's Moonstone. You know, I always wear my Moonstone, but, you know, Moonstone, live your purpose. Dream it and then live it. And what a beautiful crystal to end on. So, Geminis, thank you very much for your time. Those of you that made it through, I hope some of this resonated with you. Again, I'm not going into extended readings yet. Just trying to grow the channel. So please, again, like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully, we can have some fun going forward. You know, I look forward to seeing you the next time. Again, email in the description box for anyone looking for personal readings. Thank you so much. Namaste.